Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Early in the morning we'll be starting now. Some honeys will be coming along.
Okay, you Beach Boys fans all over the world, where I'm at, I'm in Azusa, California. This once was the Azusa Teen Club, and at this place is where the Beach Boys performed Surfin Safari. This is where they filmed their earliest extant footage. The only existing footage of the Beach Boys caught on film was done here, July 27th, 1962. Now they had already performed on Bob Eubanks' P.O.P dance party, but sadly all that footage was destroyed. So if you're at all curious, you can see on YouTube the Beach Boys performing Surfin Safari here. They actually were here 3 times in that summer of 1962. They were here in June, and then July 27th, and then August. They were here actually for, they were doing a documentary called One Man's Challenge by a guy named Dale Smallin. He was the, actually he was the manager of a group called the Safaris, who did a song called Wipeout, came out in January of 1963. In fact, Dale Smallin, he's the one that does the witch's laugh, that goofy laugh at the beginning of Wipeout. Wipeout! Okay, well that's Dale Smallin. Well, at the time, he was doing this documentary for live television in LA, and he was doing this because he was promoting, or it was a blueprint for parents to want, I guess, to pass bond measures to build these type of teen centers to keep kids off the street and away from delinquency, I guess. Anyway, on the video that you see on YouTube of Surfin Safari, the Beach Boys singing in this gym here, it says it's a live audience, but in the book that I got, Becoming the Beach Boys, it shows the Beach Boys performing in here, practicing in the early daytime, and then later on they put their penitents on, and the committee, the youth committee, they fixed everything up inside with bamboo and palms and a tiki. And then later on, post-production, they actually added the audience. So it was really never a live audience, although they had been here in front of a live audience, like I said, in June and then later in August. At that time period, they had just released Surfin Safari June 4th, 1962 with 409, and it was rushing up the charts, at least locally here on KFWB and KRLA. And then they had actually released a song called Surfin that was kind of like a minor hit in December of 1961. But this was actually their first polished single, because they had already signed with Capitol on May 8th, 1962. And to get promoted, their dad Murray, he kept on booking them in these type of teen centers, high school dances. They were even at the Richie Valens Memorial dance in Long Beach with Ike and Tina Turner. I think that was like in June of 1962. And they were, like I said, they were at Lenox High School, they were at Morningside High School, they were performing at Hawthorne High School, they were at the Rainbow Gardens. That was a big fancy place, cool place to hang out. In Pomona, they were at, like I said, Long Beach. They were going to all these church socials. They were performing at birthday parties. Well, like I said, thankfully this place is here. This typical Kennedy-esque era red brick building is still here. And I'm going to take you fans inside, and I'm going to show you exactly where the Beach Boys stood and performed Surfin Safari, the earliest known existing footage on film, right here. And then the next time they were on film was April 4th of 1963 on the Red Skelton Show, but that didn't air until September of 1963. But here's the earliest known footage existing. It's on YouTube, thankfully. And this area pretty much, it looks like the way it did the day the Beach Boys were here. Thankfully, they didn't tear this place down. It's pretty nice inside. It's still preserved pretty good. Looks exactly the way it did the day the Beach Boys were here. Okay, follow me. Let's go inside and let's take a gander and soak up the vibrations that the Beach Boys left in there. And a couple of things more. I was just going to say that the Beach Boys, Brian was only 20, Dennis was 17, Carl was 15, Mike was 21, and David was only 13. And on getting back to Surfin Safari, they had recorded that February 8th with Hype Morgan, with Al, and then Al quit that February, and then they re-recorded it at Western Recorders in April, and then they dropped that off with Nick Vinay at Capitol, and then he heard that, and then he said, man, these guys got talent. He signed them up, and then that was that May, and then they were here that July. And then pretty much like all through 62 and 63, they were performing at all these like teen centers and parks and parking lots, Broadway, grand openings, and that type of setup. That's how their father Murray was getting them exposed. Okay, so let's go in and let's check it out and soak up the ambience and the atmosphere and the vibrations of the young Beach Boys. Okay, let's go inside. Okay, hey you Beach Boys fans, I got a really big treat for you all over the world. Okay, this is the book, Becoming the Beach Boys. And I am actually at what once was the Azusa Teen Club Center. And I'm shooting in the direction approximately where the young 5 Beach Boys minus Al had quit February 1962, and this is where they filmed with David, had already taken the place of Al. I'm standing where they were at July 27th, 1962. They had already appeared here a month before here at the Azusa Teen Club. And July 27th, a guy named Dave Smallin, he was doing a local documentary called One Man's Challenge, and he hired the Beach Boys to sing Surfin Safari. It had just come out, had been released in June 4th, 1962. So I'm actually here. I can't believe the building, the Kennedy era, red brick, it's still here. Let me give you guys another shot. They said that the decoration committee is the one that fixed it up with the tiki there and the palms and the bamboo, and here you go. They said there were only 2 teens there that day, Dave Smallin and the crew, and of course the Beach Boys. And let me give you their age the day they were here. They were so young. And for you Beach Boys fans, like again, this is the earliest extant video or film, I mean, of the young Beach Boys ever in history. And I hear you can buy the DVD, and then there's Dennis. They had Dennis over there in the practice photo that I showed you. This is where the fantastic, great Beach Boys actually stood and performed. And the only other available very, very early footage of David with the Beach Boys was when they did the Red Skelton show, I think in August or September, and then that didn't come on until about 6 months later. Anyway, let me give you the age of the Beach Boys here at that time. 20 years old, Brian. Dennis, 17. Carl, 15. Mike, 21. He already had a child and he had a baby on the way. And David, 13. And man, those guys did not look like young kids. They looked like mature, responsible adults who actually knew their stuff mentally and emotionally. And I think that's why they all look so stable. So let's stand here. And I just want to say that they said that it was filmed in front of a live audience, and that wasn't true. Like I said, it was only the Beach Boys, the 2 teens, and I think the 6-man crew that was filming them here. And at post-production, they added the audience. So if you see them on the YouTube, you can see that there's an audience, but they were just here by themselves. And I'm sorry that I don't know which part of the wall that they were playing Surfin Safari, because those sconces that you see up on the wall along the edge there, they disappeared for whatever reason. They took them down. Let me just put a shot on that, what I'm talking about. Okay, we know that he was, this is the direction that they were standing in right here. But see this right here where they actually performed for one man's challenge? See that sconce there right there? Those sconces are gone. So, but we do know it's this angle because you can see a little shot, a little smidge of the stage right there. And when I came about a month ago, there was some guy here. He said that his dad had remembered that they had performed here, but they thought that they had actually performed in the armory a little bit north of this building. And when I went in there, it's just a big gymnasium, but it doesn't have this alcove here. But when I got this book, Becoming the Beach Boys by James Murphy, for you fans all over the world, I highly recommend getting it. And then when I opened it, I couldn't believe it. They had the photo, and then I was able to come back today and grab this for all you Beach Boys fans all over the world, especially you Brits. I know you love the Beach Boys. And this is the original gym. Thank God they kept it. They didn't tear it down. It's well preserved. And that they had already recorded a song called Surfin', and they released that in March of '62. And then they signed with Capitol in May. I know you fans know all this. And like I said, that Surfin', it didn't really get too high. And I think the Surfin Safari, I think it peaked at number 14 in 1962. And getting back to why Dale Smallin, he was the manager of the Safaris, and they were the ones that recorded the famous Wipeout. And Dale Smallin, the guy in the photo, the guy that's recording them in that picture that I showed you, he was the guy that actually did the witch's laugh at the beginning of Wipeout. Wipeout! So I guess this would be Dale Smallin right here. And there wasn't too much, they weren't very widely known all over the world yet, of course, because they had just started out. They had just signed with Capitol. And but all their songs were really heading up the charts, and the rest is history. And this is where it all started for you Beach Boys fans. And in that whole year of '62 and '63, they were pretty much just appearing at all these small-time dances and birthday parties and high school dances and church type festivals. And if you're at all interested, at the Mesa Presbyterian Church, I have gone there, and that's where the Beach Boys used to perform a lot when they were young, starting out. And I have recorded that and uploaded it to my channel on YouTube. So if you're at all interested, it's called the Angeles Mesa Presbyterian Church. And I'm so happy that this place is here. It's one of the last standing extant buildings where you can almost say, well, the Beach Boys were here, their energy was here. And man, these guys, they were amazing. God almighty. So vicariously, you fans all over the world, at least I was able to grab at least one place where they actually performed, and it's like original. And that the number one hit the day they were here on the radio was Roses Are Red, My Love by Bobby Vinton, if you're at all interested. And this documentary I'm talking about was 25 minutes. And wow. And on the local chart, KFWB in Southern California, Surfin Safari peaked at number 14. So, and let me tell you one thing about this one man's challenge. It was narrated by Roger Christian, and he was the guy that wrote Shut Down with Brian Wilson. Okay, well, Carl left us, Dennis left us, but David's still alive, Al. And I highly recommend this book. And if you can get over here, just be real nice to the people in the front, and they'll let you come in like they let me on this early Thursday morning. Okay, well, long live the Beach Boys. Thank you, Brian, Mike, Al, David, and thank you for all the happiness you've brought to the world. And if you could have only imagined what it was like living in Southern California in the 60s. I'm telling you, I was here, and I mean, there was electricity, and every morning on a Sunday, we would drive to Seal Beach, and we'd be playing the radio, and all you'd hear is the Beach Boys and all the blondes and all the girls in the bikinis and all the kids and everybody with a long blonde surfer hair on the beach. And believe it or not, all the thousands of people just reading books, paperbacks at that time. And everybody was tan, and it was just a fantastic time. It's hard to imagine if you didn't live in that time, but I mean, man, that was got to be the most happiest time of probably in the 20th century, in my opinion, because I actually lived it and I saw it, and I don't feel that same electricity. So wherever you're at, Dennis and Carl, I hope you're in a better place, and good night, sweet princes. And thank you for all the music you gave to the world, to these still surviving Beach Boys. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.